Reunion. Hello, y'all. I was selling crack on a private jet up in the hell and back. But no confusion, this a reunion. Hello, y'all. Welcome back. Get murder here. He counting money. He said, "Can man, the hell with rap." I'm only here to shit on niggas and piss on bitches. Welcome, ass. I bought jewelry and bikes, nigga. Black Benzes and white Vigors. Now I'm out here and I'm looking for more chandeliers and light fixtures. Nah. I don't like niggas, what's wrong with me? I'm a hype nigga, but this 44 turn to Michael Jordan. I look and say, take flight.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is sponsored by Underdog. The app is an easy way to make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. Underdog is available in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, and New York, just to name a few. Make sure to support the show by hitting the link in the bio and downloading the Underdog app. Use code MASECAM or STAT to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash with your first deposit and a free pick. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts, Mase and Cam.
Killer, what's going on, man?
Murder, what's good, man? How you?
Man, I'm doing great. Yeah, I can't complain.
I was in the bank yesterday. My banker, she had a little cold. It seemed like she passed that shit on. I'm trying to nip this shit in the bud.
How'd she give it to you?
Because, you know, when you go in the bank, like I go in the bank, you sit in the cubicle, you don't go to the teller. You have meetings in the bank. You know, it ain't a teller situation for me. I have to go. I go to the cubicles when I'm in the bank.
I concur.
Yeah, so she's in the cubicle. She told me she had a cold, but she hit a couple of these drinks. I'm like, yo, wear a mask. Since that's my homegirl at the bank. Shout out to Griselda, but
yeah,
feel a little something, but yeah, I was in the cubicle where
private client.
Yeah, I haven't been to teller and I don't know how that works anymore. They don't know if they even still do that.
Do they call you Mr. Giles?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Last 30. I do a lot of online banking, but you know we had to pay some bills. I like to get the paper receipts when I go to the bank too, man. You know what I'm saying? Just so. It's a blackout one day. It's some niggas say you ain't pay them and all that. It's just like that, a paper receipt. I had to actually pay Mike Irvin yesterday.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah, man. I had to pay Mike, man.
Well, that's good.
Speaking of Mike.
That's a perfect time for me to jump in.
That's good to know we don't owe him nothing.
Listen, hey, it's so much I got to say right now just hearing Cam run off into that. First of all, I appreciate if you drop the check off for me.
Well, listen, it's Mase too. It's not just me. I just actually went and did it, but it's also Mase.
But Cam, second of all, I just don't know if we go. I don't know if that was straight talk or cold talk. Listen to what you're saying, man. I had to drop off, pay some bills. I had to hit up in the cubicle. There's a whole lot to be going on in all that conversation.
Yeah, boss. You had to drop it off. Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Oh, you want to play?
Mike,
all right, Mike. Let me tell you something, Mike. Mike, you won't make it through a segment, man. We give you a lot of leniency, but now that you know what's going on, no more. May still mad because I was listening to niggas that started something and he said, off and I bug and bust off in the thug. I know he want revenge. I know it's coming. They said I still got the worst run with Cardan, though.
Yeah, you do.
He said I gotta find something to top that one. They said that's the worst one of the whole show.
But Cam, it is something going around though. It really is. It's something because I really just got it out of me, and it's something where.
See what I'm saying, Mike? Mike, that's what I'm talking about. You just got it out of you. See, you want to play? Yeah. You just got it out of you. It's crazy.
You see what I'm saying?
See, you'll never make it, Mike. You won't go 5 minutes. Pause. You just got it out of you. What you just get out of you?
That was wow.
That was crazy. See what I'm saying? But nah, you win, pause. You now. Yeah. Yep.
You see, I'm still coughing, man. You know what I mean. But y'all good. Let's go ahead on.
Well, actually, Mike, real quick before we get started, I have to ask you. You know you're going viral right now, right? Have you seen it?
Why am I going viral now?
Yo, right now it's at 16 million views. They're saying that you should be casted as the next Black Panther and your face is photoshopped on all of the Marvel pictures. Have you seen that? And what are your thoughts on that?
I'm absolutely with him on that. I mean, I should be cast as the next Black Panther. I mean, you don't get any blacker than me. I mean, through and through. So I'm cool with that. Honestly, I saw that on one of those sites, man, and that was cool. That was a cool look. I can embody that role. You know what I mean? A role like that. So I appreciate that love right there.
Mike, do you want me to go try and negotiate that deal for you to get you to be the next Black Panther?
Absolutely, man. Yeah. And it's the time now. I said this. We got a Black Captain America. You know you can let a nigga like me be Black Panther.
Yeah.
If you gave somebody else Black Captain America.
That's a
Come
fact.
on. It's okay. You know. So I want that role.
Yeah, I seen there was talking about getting Idris Elba to be James Bond. White people was in hysteria like now niggas taking James Bond from us is crazy.
Like Superman and all that.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm gonna talk to
you. Actually look. Pause. You actually look more dangerous than the last Black Panther.
Right. Because you know, and now let's be real. That was absolutely gifted, talented, and all of that.
For sure.
But y'all know, in the 15th or 17th, I really got that in me. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, yo.
There you go.
Crazy, Mike.
There you go.
You really got that in you. That's crazy. What do you really have in you?
Come on, man.
He said 15 or 16.
I gotta watch everything that comes.
You started the show like this. This was you. I was going.
Yeah, we was letting you just be a civilian.
Yeah, but no more civilian. Mike seen Snoop up here, and once he seen Snoop up here, he said it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. And Mase, that's mob you got on, man. What's that color? Mob, ain't that like a deep mob? Or like a deep burgundy. What's that deep burgundy called?
No, it's called Ox Blood. A young lady by the name, oh my goodness, I can't forget her name. She hit me online and said, you be wearing ox blood. I said, ox blood? What is that? It's a color, I guess.
It's a trend.
Yeah, her name's Sakia. Shout out to Sakia Donaldson.
Fire. Well, I'll just say I support you being the next Black Panther. I would like to see it happen. I've seen it going viral, so I had to ask your thoughts on that. So maybe we'll see it in the future.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mike, would you cut? You don't even have to cut your hair. I think if you leave your hair as is, pause. You look more like Black Panther.
Okay, and let me just give y'all this. You do know this is my way of exerting, like the king of the jungle, just exerting my dominance over older men. Older men don't have
Mike, that's crazy, man.
You lost us.
Exerting your dominance over older men.
My dominance. That means I'm the king of the domain, kingdom.
That's crazy too.
I'm the king of all of it.
Exerting my dominance over older men is crazy.
Mike, you said kingdom.
Yeah, exerting my dominance over older men. We should just start the show, I think. Mike is, see what happened?
Let's do the show.
Yeah.
No, Pam acting funny because I called him out on all that
Mike.
talk. That's all.
Mike, can I say something, Mike? That last one you just did, Stat looked at me and said, hey, yo, that's kind of crazy. That wasn't even me. Stat actually
lost
looked
us.
Yeah, that was.
You lost us. You lost us completely. Okay, so let's get started. So the NFL Divisional Round begins this weekend. There are 8 remaining teams. So I want to get you guys' predictions ahead of time. First, this Saturday, we got the Texans versus the Chiefs. Mike, do you think the Texans have a chance to beat the Chiefs?
A slim chance. Really don't have a chance is what I will say to this. And I'll tell people, I've said this. You know what it's like when you're going for a 3rd straight Super Bowl. Of course, nobody does. I do. I'm just messing.
Nobody but you. Mike subliminals is crazy. I like Mike subliminals is crazy. Of course you don't, but I do.
So, but all of this though. How you talk about Chiefs played some close games all year. I remember going for that third straight, and all we could do, we were just waiting on this moment right here because all of it is just to get here. And now you're here. When Patrick Mahomes told them, baby, I know you about to drop this baby. Can I turn on the playoff game too while the baby's coming, and I want to watch the game? That shows you how dialed in they are and how ready they are ready. I just don't see the Texans having a chance. Now, if they had all of their weapons, if they all at receiver, they Diggs and Dale and all of that, then there would be an opportunity there. But without them, I don't see a chance.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. You actually are starting to talk like you have some sense, and I'm appreciative of it. The Chiefs, three in a row. Pause. It's just our time. I may not know what it feels like to run through the locker room, but I definitely think we know how it feels to win 3 times back to back, Mike. So I'm going with the Chiefs, and I'm looking forward to it being an AFC Super Bowl. And they'll be back in the AFC again.
Yeah, look, I think that the Chiefs been playing poorly all season and still finding ways to win. And this is the most rest they had. Listen, they played 3 games in 10, 11 games. Patrick Mahomes, I don't think he played since Christmas Day, and he's been playing hobble most of the year. I think he's going to come back healthy, look good, even though I like how Houston's looking. They have good running. Last week against the Chargers, they look really good. Joe Mixon looked good. C.J. Stroud looked good. Nico Collins looked really good. And it looked like they turned on the gas. It was pretty close. And there was one time it was like a snap, almost fumbled. Stroud caught it, scrambled, and then made a great pass. And I think that's what changed the momentum against the game last week against the Chargers. And they look really good. But I think this is the most rest that Kansas City has had. And I don't even think that it is the most rest that they had because they took the last game off of the season. But I'm not going to go against the Chiefs. But Houston looked really, really, really good. But the Chiefs been looking poorly all year. And at the end of the season, the last 3 games, they look really, really good. But as far as beating the Chiefs, I'm not sure. But I think Houston, like Mike said, I totally agree with you. I think they do have a small chance. We're looking at some numbers here. Joe Mixon, even rushing, he had 108 yards. Nico Collins had 7 passes, 122 yards. C.J. Stroud played a spectacular game. They look good, but it is the Chiefs. So we'll see what happens. But it is any given Sunday.
Are you guys saying that, Mike, wait one moment. Are you guys saying that they got a chance even without Diggs? Y'all think so?
Diggs hasn't played in like 8-9 weeks.
If you ask me, I think it's Dale. I think Dale that hurts him most. Because Diggs gives you a big play up the field. Now, what you will want is try to make those big plays and then tell Kansas City, let me see you go and score because we know you haven't been able to do that consistently. Now, Andy Reid coming off a bye is phenomenal. His record's phenomenal. Patrick Mahomes has sat down for 23 days. You guys, we just watched the college football, right? And you see how all of those number 1 seeds lost because they had sat out for like 21 days, 22 days, and the other team didn't have that much of a break. But Kansas City is different. It will not affect Kansas City like it affects every other team because they don't play on a rhythm offense. They play backyard football. So it's not a timing thing. I got to drop back and hit him on time. He's going to wait till Travis Kelce find the opening, and then they're going to dash you and kill you. So that's why rust doesn't come into play when they have time off because they play backyard football.
Okay.
Yeah, and to Mace's question, Stephon Diggs been out. It isn't like he just was out like last week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. Been out for like 2.5, 3, maybe 3 months at this point. So they figured out how to play without him. If it wasn't Kansas City, then possibly I would say they have a chance to win. But it's Kansas City. I'm not going against Kansas City, but the way they played last week, I thought they looked really good. I like the Chargers, because when, Mike in the beginning of the season was saying how the Chargers are running the ball and Justin Herbert is throwing it and this is the new strategy. And that's why Harbaugh is going this route, doing it, and it seemed pretty good until last week.
It worked.
It was working, but
until last week. But Harbaugh. I mean, your boy missed the throw. Not give Harbaugh, but Justin Herbert missed some throws. That was on him. The plan was set up in place, and it was working. Early on in that game against the Chargers, they were dominating Houston. They were, like you said, Houston couldn't get anything going until they got that old missed snap, and he picked the ball up, and all the defense was discombobulated, and he found the big play across the middle, and then they started rolling from there. But Herbert, they've been dominating that game. They were running the ball, and Herbert couldn't make the throws when he needed to, and he missed the. I said, now I'm gonna see how many people jump on Justin Herbert for that, because we got guys that we don't get on as much as we gonna get on other guys, and Herbert cost them that game.
But yeah, not to argue with you, Mike, but when you're saying that they were dominating until that almost fumble off the snap. That fumble off the snap was in the second quarter. So what, they dominated the first quarter and a half?
Yeah.
It's 4 quarters, Mike.
Houston couldn't get anything going. Couldn't get anything going on offense, I'm saying.
Yeah, but Mike, it's 4 quarters. You talk about they dominated a quarter and a half. After that fumble snap, which was in the second quarter, it was a downhill slide for the Chargers. So therefore, we'll look at it like this. Look, they scored no points in the first quarter, 10 points in the second, 10 in the third, 12 in the fourth. So they kind of dominated from the middle of the second quarter. So when you're saying that they couldn't get nothing done, it was only 1.5 quarters they couldn't get anything done.
I said they got dominated the first quarter. You just said they got 0.
No, you didn't say that, Mike. You didn't say they got dominated the first, Mike. Yo, Mike is wild. Fly yourself back. Yo, the trial is over, Mike. I don't know if you heard the trial is over, man.
I mean, aside from that,
we said the same thing.
Y'all did say different things, but I love a good debate. So
thank you, Stat. Thank you.
I like hearing it. I like hearing it.
Thank you.
I was wondering where they was going.
Okay. So let's move on to the next game. So the Commanders versus the Lions. Mike, do you think that Jaden Daniels and the Commanders can get it done, or is this the Lions game?
And it's going to be a good game because these two quarterbacks, and both of them played a high-ranked scoring offense. Of course, Detroit's first, and I think Washington's about fifth. But they're all both up there, and I like to call them both efficiently explosive. That means they'll have high percentage completion percentages and everything, but they will also have big plays. Usually, when people have high completion percentages, that's all short plays, short yard plays. But they go up the field with it and make all these kind of great design plays to get more explosive plays. This could be, and Detroit's defense still not all together. So this is going to be, I think, a great game for Jaden Daniels. But I don't see them beating Detroit in this game. So I think it'll be a good game, but I'm taking Detroit to win. And I'm hoping Jaden Daniels play real well.
Yeah, I think this is the moment that all of Detroit has been waiting for. I mean, there's going to be a lot of silver and blue out there. I think this is the time where they redeem themselves from last year, and just I'm looking for Brown to have a great game. I'm looking for St. Brown to have a great game. I'm also looking for Washington to play well late. I think it'll be close, but I just think Detroit is destined to get this game. They're destined to find themselves in the championship game, and they're just here to make up for lost times. I think this is the time where we really get to see Goff in a position where he wins, he makes it to the championship, and just an unfortunate fate.
I think this is an interesting game, to be totally honest with you. I'm very intrigued by this game. I'm definitely going with the Detroit Lions to win the game, but I think if this is a close game situation, then I would go with the Commanders. The Commanders have been winning close games all season. Mm-hmm. They have 11 games that are a touchdown or less, win or loss. I think they have 7 games that they won by a touchdown or less, and they have 4 games that they lost by a touchdown or less. Jaden Daniels, he looked really, really good in his debut. 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Plus, he had 6 receivers that's over in double-digit receiving yards. And not only that, he's using his legs. Pause. He had 36 rushing yards, and I'm not sitting here saying that he's Lamar Jackson or anything like that, but he's also able to extend plays and get first downs if necessary. Do I think the Detroit Lions are going to win? But if I think this, yes, I do. But if I think this is going to be a close game, I'm going with the Commanders.
Because he has some of that. He has some of that. Jaden Daniels has some of that. Patrick Mahomes in him.
Yeah, that last game.
He's not going to run like he won't run like Lamar. But he's kind of like in between Lamar and Patrick Mahomes. He can give you something, but he's always just slipping right by you and getting the first down. It really is phenomenal to watch. And I would love to see that game come down late to see how the pressure mounts and where everybody stays. And that's where, like you talked about, I think Jaden Daniels can have an advantage.
Yeah, I think if the Commanders win, that will be just too easy of a game. That's why I don't want them to win.
And then, Mike, I actually got to ask you real quick. So we just talked about 2 young quarterbacks. We talked about Jaden Daniels and we talked about C.J. Stroud. In your opinion, who do you think is more impressive? I'm not going to say right now, just in their career so far.
Well, both have been impressive when you talk about, and it's so funny because I did this little thing today that I do on the show about getting it right. And I talked about the Houston Texans. Now, you got to look at this. Look at what C.J. Stroud walked into. Remember, I always talk about distance travel. 2 years ago, that place was a mess. It was totally destroyed. I'm talking about the Houston Texans. And it attacked both the most important positions, the quarterback and the head coach. Remember, Deshaun Watson, we don't need to go in details about it. And we remember the black coaches, 1 year fired, 1 year fired. So now you go and hire another black coach, and he points out his black quarterback, and they're coming into a hell hole. You see what I mean? And they got these guys back in the playoffs the first 2 years. That's an impressive first 2 years being where they started. But watching Jaden Daniels, who had more things, I think, Washington was in turmoil too, but in a different way. That's in the ownership and everything. But to stabilize that franchise, both are impressive. But I think Jaden Daniels, this is the most impressive rookie I have seen, probably in the history of me seeing rookies.
What makes him so different than last year's C.J. Stroud?
Well, what Cam was just talking about, the most important thing, and I always talk about this, is you can play all day. It's how you play late will determine if you get great. Because late play is going to win the game. See what 75% of the games are determined in the last 2 minutes. If you can remain cool when everybody else is getting crazy, then you can calmly make plays. And the other day, it was a 3rd and 1 that they had him tackled behind. I don't know how he got away. I thought it was routine. I said, how did he get to that first down? He does that a couple. He's like, man, that's amazing. And it doesn't look like nothing spectacular. He just go gets it done. He's I guess they're moving the stick. They've had this. This is a rookie. And Detroit's the other team that they had like 3 or 4 games with no punts, no turnovers. How the hell you win against a team that has no punts and no turnovers? You see what I mean? So that's what that's what's different. That's what's different about this dude, man. That the more the pressure builds, the calmer he gets. And if you can win late, you will be great in this National Football League. And he has that. Now, that's usually 12th grade stuff. That's 12th grade, you got to learn that. College, senior year, he learns this in it's kindergarten for him, and he already has this. Yeah, I just got to figure out how we can get him out of the NFC East.
Yeah, for me, and then you was asking who's better, C.J. Stroud?
Yeah, who do you think is having more of an impressive career right now?
Well, C.J. Stroud's second year and it's Jaden Daniels' first year, so it's a year jump. But I'm gonna go with C.J. Stroud currently at the moment because he's in the playoffs 2 years in a row. So I'm going with him. And but Jaden Daniels, he's a smooth individual, man. Like I said, these late game heroics are super duper good. Hail Marys, not just Hail Marys. They beat my team, the Cincinnati Bengals, with like 30 seconds left where he dropped it in his lap, pause. And he's really smooth under pressure. When you sit there and talk about the Texans and Mike, and I know you brought up their organization and how it was turmoil and they turned it around. It was a time where they had DeAndre Hopkins and they had Deshaun Watson. Those two looked really, really good. And it looked like the Texans may be going somewhere. And when both of them left, you're right. It did look like that they was going to be downhill for a long time. But it's downhill as long as the Commanders? No. The Commanders haven't won a playoff game since 2005. And like you said, Mike, you know, with Dan Snyder and everybody over there was ownership, management, etc. Had the Commanders in turmoil to where we didn't know what the name was. They had to watch the football team. It was a lot going on. I think for like 6 games into the season, they didn't have a name. But I talked about this a lot. Bringing winners in help people win. And I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but you have Magic Johnson and Bob Myers, winners over there, and they know how to structure a team winning. Obviously, even though they have basketball backgrounds, they know how to structure winners. But as far as better, I'm going to only give it to C.J. Stroud now because he's played 2 years. In 2 years, he's made it to the playoffs. But I do like where Jaden Daniels is going. Both of those guys are really good. And we talked about rookie quarterbacks, Mike, because they made it to the playoffs. I know you're saying you may not seen a rookie play as good as he has, but we can't forget about Cam Newton as a rookie. Because he didn't make it to the playoffs, it may not seem as spectacular, but he had a spectacular rookie year as well.
Yeah, after hearing y'all, I'm definitely going with Daniels. I think everything I heard, I wasn't well as versed with when it came to him, but listening to you guys, I would say Daniels, and I would say Daniels if he's playing great late, like you said, Mike. If he's also showing great composure, is just a testimony to the type of character that team must have, that they're able to win that late. Because like we talk about often on the show, football is one of those sports one guy doesn't do it, Paul. So you know it just speaks to that winning formula, which is a character thing. And when you bring guys with great character around, you're gonna win late because they know what to do.
Okay. So moving on from the Saturday games to the Sunday games. On Sunday, the Rams will play the Eagles. Mike, who do you think wins this game?
And I do have the Eagles winning this game because when I look at the Rams will beat you with that. I always call it that Puka Cooper thing because Matt Stafford and Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp is the dangerous combination. But Philly is the best in the National Football League at not giving up big plays. They're not giving up big plays. Matthew Stafford likes to try to take the big plays. That's why they took him out of Detroit and brought him to L.A. and told Jared Goff, you go to Detroit, because they wanted somebody to throw the ball in the air and throw the ball down the field. And Stafford does that, and Philly doesn't allow you to do that. And that's why I'm going to take Philly. Where a lot of people have been talking about, when you look at Philly, that offense. Dude, last week, that defense was insane. When I got back to my studies, I was looking at how many guys they have from the University of Georgia, where they had that great defense. I think they got 7, 8 guys on that team, 6, 7 starting. And I'm talking about, you can tell those guys have been playing together for a while because they were swarming. That defense was swarming, and I think that's what you're going to get against the Rams. I got Philly to win that game.
Yeah, I'm really undecided when it comes to this game, but if I had to pick one, I probably would say LA. Not that they should win the game. I would think Philly would win it, but with everything going on in LA, maybe they find the fortitude and the desire to win for everybody back at home. That's the only way I could see them winning. Other than that, it's too much firepower on the Philadelphia Eagles. The running game is strong. The quarterback is looking like he's trying to find a way to get back to the championship. And just when people have that sour taste in their mouth from being so close last year to not winning and feeling like they belong there, I think this is the time they get back to at least that championship game. I meant the NFC championship game.
Yo, Mike.
Yeah.
Didn't I ask you about Sam Darnold before this shit happened? Didn't I ask you about this? You gave me some long-ass answer about cranium cracks and all type of shit, and he gonna play better because the week last week was crazy. I asked you specifically as our NFL analyst how this was going to go, and you gave me 17 paragraphs on why he's going to play better and why he's going to be better and how he's going to win. The Minnesota Vikings should win this game and everything else. You gave me, I felt like I was in American history when you gave me the answer about Sam Darnold going to play better. I said that first game looked like it was a playoff game to me because you get the bye and you go from a 1 seed to a 5 seed to 6 seed, whatever seed they ended up getting. But I asked you specifically what was going to happen. You gave me these long answers and everything you said equaled out everything to not happen what you said. Let me ask you a question again. How many millions you think Sam Darnold cost himself with those last 2 games?
Well,
Mike, how many millions before you get into this? Mike, just give me a number and then get into the answer afterwards.
It's the amount of time that he's lost money on. He would have gotten a 3-year deal, maybe second or 3-year deal, averaging 40 or 50 million. Now he'll get another 1-year deal at 25. So he definitely lost the amount of time on his deal.
25 million?
So you basically say those 2 games cost him $100 million. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. If you're gonna get if you get a 1-year deal for 30 million and you would have gotten a 3-year deal for 35 or something like that, then yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
And and I knew that. That's why I wanted to make sure you don't point to that. Guy, my fault.
Stat don't care about that. Stat don't care about how much you know. Stat only care about he's gonna end up in Pittsburgh and be Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah, Mike, you're on fire today.
Yeah, Mike. That was a good spin.
That wouldn't be a bad thing now, because they won't ask Sam, and this goes to that too, Cam. They won't ask Sam to win the game throwing the ball. They're going to just ask Sam to throw it. Don't lose the game throwing the ball. Just make a few plays here and there. So I think there's still some work in there. There's still some work for him.
Yeah, let me get to the game. I just had to ask you about that, Mike, because when I asked you about the shit last time he was on the show, you gave me, I felt like I was in algebra again, and you gave me this long-ass answer, and everything you said, the opposite happened.
What the Joker did, Cam?
What?
You know what he did to me? Like I told you, I said he was throwing those balls high because they were coming inside. All right. And now the Joker got scared. He didn't even throw that damn ball. He was hard to throw that damn ball. Boy, you're making me look bad. Throw that damn ball.
That's what I was saying, and that's what I was saying about the week when they played the Lions. He looked great all season, but sometimes the moment may be too big for somebody who played great all season. He looked like a deer in headlights. Now, if you look at the box score, his numbers wasn't really bad. He had, I believe, two touchdowns, 275 yards. There was no interceptions. But to Sam Darnold's credit, he was under pressure all game. That offensive line it looked terrible the whole game. And I felt kind of bad for him. Like, God damn, get this nigga a little bit of time to try and do anything. But then when he did have time, he wasn't making the throws that he should have made, that he should have completed. 2 weeks in a row, it looked like the moment was too big for him. And I think that cost him, like you said, $100 million. That's why I want to see if you was on the same page as me. Back to the game coming up.
Right.
Philadelphia.
Right. And one other thing on that, Camp.
Yes, sir.
Remember what they go back to. What they go back to is remember when he was in New York and he called on camera and said, I think I see ghosts. Right. And now you're holding the ball and afraid. Everybody say, oh, he must be out there seeing ghosts. Right. We can't give a ghost seer $100 million.
Absolutely.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Because listen, you can sit there and win all season. You could go 17-0. If you don't win when it counts, you don't win when it counts. And that's what it boils down to. You're there for the big moment. Now, do you have to get to the big moment? Yes, but you have to win in the big moment. And it looked like 2 weeks in a row the moment was too big for him. As far as this game coming up, I'm actually going to go with the Rams. Philly should win, but I like the way the Rams' cohesion is coming along right now. Sean McVay, brilliant coach. I like his style. Young, he's a player's coach. He started coaching young so the players could really relate to him. What I think the most important situation with the Rams is that Cooper Kupp is not even really being targeted. He's only being targeted 1, 2, 3 times a game. And Puka, I forget Puka. I don't want to fuck his name up. Puka Nacua. He looked like he's the number one, but even last game, they had Tyler Higbee, if I'm not mistaken saying his name wrong, he was the number one receiver as far as yards was concerned. So you got Higbee, you got Puka number 2, and then now all of a sudden we got Cooper Kupp as a number 3. Cooper Kupp could be explosive at any given time. I fuck with Cooper Kupp. I like him a lot, and I think that will be the difference. Philadelphia's been winning all season. You know that Jalen Hurts was coming off that concussion protocol, and he may not look his best last week, so maybe they'll have some cohesion coming into this week. You know, we got A.J. Brown reading books on the side, Devontae Adams. All this talk around Philly, but they always seem to win. But I think this is a real interesting matchup. Philly's at home, so they have the advantage, but I'm going to go with the Rams in this game. Even moving forward, and I know we have time to talk about it, I think this is the real kicker. If the Rams win, the Lions win, this is what it's really about. This trade that happened a few years ago. We have Jared Goff. Against Matthew Stafford. You sit there and you trade Goff. He's having an MVP type season, and Matthew Stafford was looking subpar. But to me, until Jared Goff wins the Super Bowl, this trade is beneficial for the Rams because the first year that they traded Goff for Stafford, the Rams went on it to win. So it looked like Goff was the problem. So now you got Goff against Matthew Stafford in the ultimate showdown to see who actually won this trade. Now, if the Rams end up being, but let me ask you this, Mike. Let's say these games go that way and we still have games to play. I'm just asking you a what-if scenario. If Goff ends up playing Matthew Stafford and the Rams end up winning, what do you feel about this overall situation with Goff in Detroit? Because Matthew Stafford and them have nightmares. Not Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff. Right. Nightmares. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But you would be right. If Matthew Stafford goes back and get another Super Bowl and he went through Detroit to get it this time around, so you guys raised up a great team, and I come through here and knock your best season off. Be phenomenal. It's a phenomenal story.
And not only that, not to cut you off, Mike, not to cut you off. You got to realize Matthew Stafford's beloved in Detroit. It just wasn't working out for him. He's been there since Megatron. You understand what I'm saying? He's beloved. It just didn't work out. But for him to leave his first season and win a Super Bowl, it'll be great. And imagine how that would feel for Matthew Stafford. So I think everything
to come back through. Wait, but to come back through this,
right?
So we can still love you, nigga. We ain't had nothing to do with that. Now you want to come back through here and whoop our ass on getting the second one? Nigga, love gone.
Yeah.
Love is gone. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wait. That's a whole different thing now.
Yeah. Now to be honest,
that's I think that's fascinating.
Absolutely, that's to me, that's the most intriguing matchup for an NFC Championship because of the storyline, the backstory to that situation. Could Philly win? Absolutely. But I would love to see Matthew Stafford against Jared Goff in the NFC Championship game in Detroit for everything to go to the Super Bowl. Because even if the Rams go to the Super Bowl and lose, they still beat Detroit and they still get the best of this trade, to me.
Well, great discussion.
Well, I would go with the Rams had we not had that book on the sideline. See, you dropped something in about that book,
right?
But that book is what saved them. I do believe you. You saw at the end of the game, you saw A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith up there joking with Saquon Barkley because he didn't go and score, didn't get more yards. He dove down too early.
Yep.
That means the book did its job. It kept his ass calm, even though he only had one pass. I read that stuff. I know because I needed it for me. You see, in these books, they talk about the reptilian brain, and we are more apt to fight than reason. So they teach you to stay calm. Things are not important. Only on the football field can you beat somebody's ass like that. Stay calm. You see what I mean? And it's true. So he was trying to stay calm. And at the end of the game, I still saw happy and joy on his face. So it won't carry over to next week. The book is what's going to keep them on the books for the rest of these playoffs.
Well, A.J. Brown, and to your point, Mike, A.J. Brown said he brings the book all the time. This is the first time the cameras caught him with the book. So, that's media, that's camera work, that's people trying to probably make a big deal out of something that's not a big deal. It's just probably the first time that the audience seen it. But he said he always brings the book.
Okay. We're going to go to break, and then this next game, Mase, this is actually the game you're going to need your popcorn for because we're going to talk about the Ravens versus the Bills. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Now let's get into our underdog picks of the day. So our picks are actually going to be the Ravens versus the Bills. Underdog has Lamar Jackson at 52.5 rushing yards. Do you have him higher or lower, Mase?
Higher.
Yeah, I'm going higher, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Derrick Henry's at 95.5 rushing yards. Do you have him higher or lower, Cam?
Higher.
Okay. And Josh Allen is at 238.5 passing yards. Do you have him higher or lower, Mase?
Yeah, this is easy. Higher.
I'm going to go low.
Okay. If you guys like these picks, remember you always get a free pick if you're not already on Underdog. So make sure to support the show. Sign up now, and you can make your picks too. So now it's time to talk about that game that's happening on Sunday. And it's an important game specifically for these two quarterbacks. Mike, who do you think is winning?
Who gets the right to go and face Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City? These two MVP candidates. Now, we had a question that I thought was interesting. Who would be more difficult to game plan for? Like, that means if I'm a defensive coordinator, right? Who would be more difficult, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? Now, I said Josh Allen, and let me give you my reasoning behind it. Because as a pure coordinator, I get an advantage when I'm going against Baltimore. I know you guys have mentioned it. If you got to give Derrick Henry the ball at least 20 times, you'll win the game. We get 60 plays in the game. So I know a third of this game, you got to at least give Derrick Henry the ball, to have success, because that's what I'm able to ascertain from the numbers and your tendencies. But we don't know who stars for the Buffalo Bills. But Josh Allen is always going to be the star. He dispenses the ball around to so many people it'll be more difficult for me to find a point of attack. But all of that being said, I'm still got to go with Baltimore winning this game because the roof falls down on Baltimore. The roof falls down on Lamar Jackson. The roof falls down on Derrick Henry. They got to get it now. You don't know what's happening next year. Derrick Henry may never come past this mount again, so he has to go and grab what he's going to grab. I'm taking them. They're a better talented team, but also should be the more desperate team. Buffalo, they don't lose in Buffalo, but 1.5 points favorite. I'm taking the Ravens to win that one.
I don't know about that, Mike, and I'm gonna tell you why. There's a certain thing about, like you said, when you're supposed to win, that's when you gotta win. You don't get 2 and 3 times to fix things that you didn't do. I think when they didn't win last year, even though they're having this great season, they end up right there understanding that last year was their time. This is not your time. This is actually the Bills' times. This is gonna be Josh Allen moment because he has yet to get in that game like Lamar Jackson was able to do, like the guy from the 49ers was able to get there. I think this is the season where Josh Allen stepped forth and won his shot at Patrick Mahomes in an AFC Championship.
Mike, let me ask you a question before I give my take. If, let's say that Kansas City doesn't win and Houston wins, and whoever, either or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, either or win, do you think it's the same? I mean, of course, when you go to the Super Bowl, it is what it is. But let's just say Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, whoever wins, do you think it's the same feeling beating the Houston Texans, even if they could beat the Houston Texans, going? Or do you think niggas want to beat Patrick Mahomes to go? Or it doesn't matter? Like, nigga, I'm going to the Super Bowl no matter what.
Right. It's prison mentality, basically. It really is. You want a ring, and you'll take a ring. If Pat can't get there to fight you, then you gotta do what you gotta do to take that ring. But you still ain't gonna be considered the baddest nigga in the yard.
Right.
Because you ain't whooped that other nigga yet. You got to go whoop him. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right. So you can't beat the second baddest dude and claim bad man. Right. You got to go beat the bad man. That's prison mentality. Lamar got to go beat the man. Ain't no getting around that. And now if he goes to get a ring, he'll be able to say, I got the ring. They're gonna say, yeah, the one there that year Patrick Mahomes was down, it'll still linger over him because of the unevenness in the record.
Right.
You want to slay this dragon. Let me tell you how that thing follows you. Okay. I remember I wasn't joking. I told you guys about, I wish Saquon would have gone for that record and exercised the demons that had dogged him early in his career. He was like, I don't care. I don't want to get hurt. Well, the injuries is what got you out of New York. Exercise that demon right there. That game and say, I'm going to get that record. And he did. Did you even notice? I'm just talking about how mental things work. In that game, when he had a chance to break and he fell early.
Yeah, I seen that.
The first thing he came over, they said, why didn't you go all the way and then fall near the goal line? That's another 60 yards you could have picked up. You could have had that would have been a great game. Add that to your record book. Keep stacking. He said, yeah, it's another 60 yards I could have ran, but no, I could have pulled the hamstring and got hurt. You see, that ghost is still in his head. That ghost is still in his head. And that's why I was saying you gotta clean the slate and be able to make sure you're going in confident.
Well, Mike, as an NFL expert that you are, that's the ghost I'm talking about with Lamar. He just never got it done.
Right. And he knows that. And he knows that, and he knows he has to get it done. And it starts that, and that's what I'm betting on him to know. Joke. This is it. And this is why I tell you this, mate. Because you got a 2,000-yard running back. You got two big-time tight ends and two big-time wide receivers. Zay Flowers, you beat Pittsburgh like that last week without Zay Flowers. And you're hoping to get him back. You got nowhere else to go up. It's either get him now or you're not going to get him. And on the other side, Patrick Mahomes is as down as he's been. If Josh wins, where does Lamar go? If Lamar wins, we can go back in the front office and say, man, we got to get Josh some more help. That's all. He just couldn't cut it by himself when he got to the top. Then we can go look at getting him some more help, wide receiver, whatever kind of help he needs. But Lamar has top help right now. You're not going to find another running back to have that kind of year. He has to do it now.
Yeah, I just don't see the repeat. I don't see the same game we saw last year end up being the Chiefs and the Ravens. I just don't see it.
It's also rudely interrupted by everybody. It's actually my goal. Everybody just interrupted. What I was saying, Mike, was even with your point, the rushing yards, even if Saquon Barkley gets that, I don't count that. Because you have an extra game. Eric Dickerson has the single rushing yard record with 16 games. Same thing like OJ used to be up here saying, like, niggas trying to break my record. I was playing 14 games getting 2,000 yards. You get what I'm saying? So it don't count. I actually seen George Gervin one time. They wanted him to be there when Klay Thompson, I think, broke his singles quarter record or some shit, 37 points. Or I'm not sure what it was. But George Gervin was like, I didn't have 3-point shots, so he ain't break my record. I didn't have a chance to shoot a motherfucking three. My shits was all 2s and 1s. These niggas shooting 3s. Imagine how much I would have had if I had a 3. So I understand for the NFL record books that it would be a single season rushing record. But to me, Cam, I'm not counting that because niggas had extra games. Imagine if Eric Dickerson had the extra game to do what he had to do. You get what I'm saying? Same thing I used to love when OJ was up here and saying, I don't understand how niggas giving niggas records. So I had 2,000 yards in 14 games or some shit like that. I don't remember off the top of my head. It is what it is.
God damn, dog, when you say that, do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you understand what that shit sounds like?
Right.
Which right here, to say somebody had 2,000 yards and 14 games.
Exactly.
Do you?
Fair.
Boy, Juice, boy, you talking about the wrong, boy.
Yeah, and the thing
nobody
about
cares.
it was a game that OJ, I believe, had close to 200 rushing yards, and the quarterback had 36 yards throwing. That's why he couldn't fucking win up there when he's playing. And then if you know what the offense is as a defensive coordinator or the defensive, or you on defense, you know they're running it, and you can't even do anything about it. So I get it. But back to the original question that we was talking about. This is really tragic because both these quarterbacks, no matter who loses, is going to be under scrutiny until next season. It doesn't matter if it's Josh Allen. It doesn't matter if it's Lamar Jackson. They are going to be under scrutiny for the next whole season until next season. Because they'll be like, well, Josh Allen can't seem to get it done. Lamar Jackson, he can't seem to get it done. And these are the top 2 leading candidates for MVP this year. It's Josh Allen and it's Lamar Jackson. So they'll sit there and say, damn, the MVPs, which one? Let's say Lamar Jackson get it. You got 3 MVPs, but you got an under 500 record in the playoffs. Same thing with Josh Allen. They're your leading candidate for MVP, but you can't get it done. I don't know who wins. I think that the best team playing football at the moment is the Baltimore Ravens, but I think weather also factor into it. It's supposed to snow Saturday night. It's supposed to be 10 degrees Sunday in the daytime. Later on that night, it's supposed to be 7 degrees. Will that be a factor for Baltimore? I'm not saying Baltimore's Miami weather, but it's not Buffalo weather either. I think that's what's really most important, and we'll figure it out when the time comes. But they'll be under scrutiny. But on the other side of the coin, and you'll sit there and say the jail mentality thing, Mike, and you're like, oh, I got to go beat the baddest man. What if it says if C.J. Stroud beats Patrick Mahomes and then beats one of these other quarterbacks and he goes to the Super Bowl? Do you put him up there in the top 3, 4 quarterbacks in the league? Because you'll be going through Patrick Mahomes, and then Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. What do you think about that?
Right, but you do get some powwow, and that's what you're asking me when you beat Patrick Mahomes. You know, okay, this season, Joe Burrow, they ain't do no win, but they were like, Joe Burrow should be in the MVP race. You know why? Because Joe Burrow has beat Patrick Mahomes. That gave him some powwow. You see what I mean? It gave him some powwow. If Josh Allen and Lamar had been putting up those and not winning, he's not in the MVP race. He's not really a winner. He never beat Patrick Mahomes. See, this is how our mind thinks. Because Patrick Mahomes is at the top of the mountain. That's why it's important. I want to knock that Negro off on my way. Now, you're going to take any ring you can get, but Lamar wants to knock him off on his way to grabbing that ring. Absolutely, and it does make a difference.
Yeah, but that's what I'm asking you. You keep going back, all of us, we're going back to Lamar and Josh Allen. I get that. But C.J. Stroud beating Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, what does that say about C.J. Stroud if that happens?
Right, but that's what I'm telling you.
Right.
That he gets that pass because we can say, oh, we know he beat Patrick Mahomes. That's the same thing we say about Joe Burrow. Every year, that's the one thing that keeps him up here because he has gone in and he has beat Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen couldn't do it. With 30 games left, Patrick Mahomes was 13 seconds. You know, Lamar Jackson couldn't do it. The foot was out of balance by 1/2 inch. All of that is just the river was rocking. Nobody wants to hear. Everybody's telling you only Joe Burrow brought the damn ship in. So we give him credit. If this young dude beat Patrick Mahomes, yeah, he gets to be talked about like, man, this could be one of the greats. wait till he continue to learn the game because he went through Patrick Mahomes. It's important.
See, this is what I'm saying, Mike, and I know we got
to
to get ready to move on. My last point saying is this. Of course, we know Patrick Mahomes is at the top of the mountain. We understand that. It's not being questioned. But you have to understand the three quarterbacks that's right underneath him. You have a Joe Burrow. You have Josh Allen. You have Lamar Jackson. It also says something beating these other quarterbacks if that happens, because now I wouldn't put C.J. Stroud over Lamar Jackson. I wouldn't put C.J. Stroud over Josh Allen. I wouldn't put C.J. Stroud over Joe Burrow. But if you beat two of the top four quarterbacks, where do you put C.J. Stroud? And that's a rhetorical question. I'm not asking you. I'm just saying you have to put him up there because he beat both of those teams. Also with Joe, because this is what I'm saying with Joe Burrow. You're sitting there, and we all know this, and that's why I love Joe Burrow. He has a better record against Patrick Mahomes than Patrick Mahomes has against him, but Patrick Mahomes wins in those games, even though Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl. But what I'm saying is Joe Burrow just didn't beat Patrick Mahomes. He also beat Josh Allen. And I think that counts also. You can sit there and say, okay, and I'm just using a fictional situation. You beat Michael Jordan, but on the way to beat Michael Jordan, you also beat Charles Barkley, and you beat Karl Malone, and you beat Reggie Miller or any other star. We all understand at this particular moment that Patrick Mahomes is like the Michael Jordan of football in the 90s, but it's also other superstars that if you beat them, I think that counts on your resume as well.
Yeah, but winning against them is one thing. Winning a championship or taking a championship from them is another thing. So hey, you talk about Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, and all those names, and neither one of those guys have ever gotten the ring. So going in and taking and beating those guys didn't get you near the top of the mountain. You got to beat the man at the top of the mountain to get in that room. That's what we always talk about. Can you walk in this room? Can you walk in that champion's room? So yeah, and I understand. And the thing here, this is what I'm saying, though, it's his second year. He goes and beat Patrick Mahomes. Now, I don't say he's a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, but now our mind starts projecting. What, he beat Patrick Mahomes in his second year. Josh Allen is in his sixth year. The bar's in this year. Imagine what he's going to be around that time when he becomes that age. You see all of that stuff start coming into play. That's why right now the race is to go knock Patrick Mahomes off that top.
Well, hypothetically speaking, guys, in the comments down below, if CJ Stroud does beat Patrick Mahomes, let us know where you guys would rank him among quarterbacks right now. So last thing before we wrap, obviously we know the Super Bowl is February 9th. We're just going to cut to the chase. Mike, what do you think the matchup will be? Who do you think are the two teams that will be playing in the Super Bowl?
Man, I think right now I have Kansas City playing against Detroit, and I have Detroit Lions beating the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That's how it plays out. I mean, hey, listen, man. So no, you got to go. And hey, let me tell you why I say this to me. Because Detroit, prior to this season, did not have a good record going outside playing. Excuse me. So they did better this year. But the NFL helped them so much by that Super Bowl in New Orleans. So they'll end the season in the Super Bowl in a dome. Patrick can play anywhere. Patrick can play in the dome, play outside, play wherever it matters. But it matters to Detroit that they have the Super Bowl in the perfect conditions. So all of their weapons will be viable. And of course, the city hasn't had quite as many weapons. But it's the ultimate number one weapon is 15. But I'll take Detroit with a little win, a slight win over Kansas City.
Yeah, I see all of y'all trying to put that loss in the atmosphere. I see Killer doing it, pause. I see Larry over here. Now you, Mike.
I was just doing speculation. I was just giving speculation where quarterbacks would be ranked because Patrick Mahomes at the top. I didn't pick against Kansas City.
Oh, okay. And Mike, I know both of these teams are 15-2 right now, right? So we understand all of that, but when it comes down to destiny just has a way of being destiny. If the Chiefs get to the championship, I just can't see Patrick Mahomes or Hat-Trick Mahomes getting in the championship where he's right there to complete something that's never been done and not being able to find a way to get it done, especially against a team that is known, and I know all the Detroit fans out here. I want to see Detroit and the Chiefs, but I just don't see Jared Goff pulling this off. I just don't. I know Larry said the odds or what they'll be in Vegas, but the only way they could beat them, and I'll go on the record of this, the only way they could beat the Chiefs is if they walk out with Eminem. You know, if they walk out with Eminem with the moment and all of that, you got to lose yourself in the moment. Maybe this city gets amped and they get it done, but you forgot Taylor Swift is coming to the game. You know, we're liable to get the refs to see Taylor and call a flag. I don't think we can lose if Taylor Swift is at the game.
Y'all winning on a Swifty rep. That's messed up, man. Y'all
I gotta remind niggas and put that in their mind. You know Taylor Swift gonna be at the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a quick prediction, but Mike, I want to ask you one question before we go. After I make my prediction, I think next week depends on a lot of things. As far as who wins, it depends. Like, I wouldn't say Detroit, but I don't think Detroit beats the Lions. I'm part of the Lions. I don't think Detroit beats the Rams if the Rams win. I'm going with the Rams, and then I'm going with the Chiefs, and I believe the Chiefs will lose in the Super Bowl if they make it to the Super Bowl. We want to see greatness. We want to see three-peats, et cetera, et cetera. We almost seen it one time with my nigga Tom Brady. What is they, 17, 18, 19-0?
Yeah.
And then they get there, and they're going to be the first team to be 19-0 since the 1972 Dolphins. And niggas start catching helmet catches and all type of other shit just to fuck the miracle up. And I think that's what'll happen. But that's my prediction, but we'll see what happens next year in the divisional. Mike, real quick before we go, because I know we're running out of time, what do you think that should happen with Tyreek Hill?
Well, what do you mean? Because Tyreek wants out now over in Miami?
Yes, with Miami. He wants out. He was talking shit. I know that was one of our topics and we're running out of time, but Stat, what was the actual question? I won't even chime in. I just want Mike's opinion.
Do you think the Dolphins should keep, trade, or cut Tyreek Hill? He posted the Antonio Brown picture, Photoshop with his face on that when he walked the field, all that stuff. What did you think about that? Where do you think he should go?
I thought that was actually, first of all, that was funny when he posted Antonio Brown and said, out of here, all of that, going off in the speech. I got to work this out with Tyreek Hill. And I know Tyreek just did a little bit of an extension on his contract and everything. And Tyreek talked about, I'm not playing ball not to make the playoffs. He's made the playoffs, so many years. But he left Kansas City. I told you should have stayed Kansas City, but those IANs be calling them down in Miami. You wanted to get down there. You wanted to get down there, the Colombians and Brazilians and Italians and Puerto and now all those IANs are helping you get no IN rings, and now you want out again. So if I'm Miami, I can't run my offense without Tyreek Hill. I have to work that out. And Tyreek Hill knows that. I don't think Tyreek Hill wants to leave those IANs of Miami. But I do think he's going to somehow say some more dollars will calm me down. But I don't think he's really leaving.
Okay, good take. We will see what happens. But Mike, it was a pleasure to have you on the show today, and always.
Oh, I appreciate it, Stat. And listen, I really do think that quarterback Sam, I don't care what Cam them say, gonna do real well for you next year. Just take it early. Take it from me. Y'all gonna do that with
Trust
Sam.
Me, we are all over Russell Wilson. So yeah, that's all the time that we have for today.
Oh yeah, real quick before we go, Stat. Tomorrow on Talk with Flea, I'm interviewing TA, THANASIS. No disrespect, TA. I just make sure. Antetokounmpo on Talk with Flea right after the show. Stay tuned and make sure you check that interview out. Sorry about that, Stat.
Thanks for watching, and as always, it is what it is.
What you want, nigga? Everything, nigga, super size. Two Big Macs, like when they doing them 2 for $5.